Great job on the test. You both got hundreds.
I got 46.
I got 115.
How can we both have gotten it right?
Well, since there's no standardized method to math or anything for that matter, I don't know, so you both get it right.
Without the scientific revolution, most of our classes would look something like this. And while all answers being right wouldn't look too bad on our report cards, it would lead to some huge societal problems. Before the Black Plague, most people relied heavily on the church to tell them what is right and what is wrong. But when a majority of the population was killed by disease in the 14th century, things started to change. Less people meant more room for a greater contribution to society. In the next 200 years, people began to develop their own thoughts. This period became known as the period of Enlightenment. Enlightenment is a very broad time period that takes a lot of time to fully explain, but in this period came a smaller but every bit as important time known as the Scientific Revolution. The Scientific Revolution is considered to start around 1543, when astronomer Copernicus proved the sun is the center of the universe's orbit. Before now, people thought that A, the Earth was the center of orbit, and B, everything just kind of floated around and somehow worked out. Kind of like how most of us today are getting through high school. Anyway, this theory became known as the theory of heliocentrism. After Copernicus came Galileo. He invented the telescope and built off of Copernicus's ideas, which led the way for Johannesburg Kepler to build even further, and eventually theorize non-circular orbits of the planets. The scientific revolution is said to have ended in 1687 with the publication of Principia by Sir Isaac Newton. This book was a collection of his findings and his developed theories. This included the 3 big laws of motion, theories of planetary motion, gravity, and even calculus. Sorry, mathematically challenged, but blame Newton. Of course, as with every major development comes the people who will object it, and this was no exception. Many groups of people refused to believe that the church was wrong in what they had been telling them, and thus stood by their objections. At one point, Galileo was even tried for his ideas. Haters gonna hate, right? Haters gonna hate, baby. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Many huge and essential developments came out of the scientific revolution, such as the scientific method, which we all at one point or many points had to memorize by Francis Bacon. Microscope technology was also developed by Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, who was the first to study microorganisms. William Gilbert explored electricity and magnetism. Andreas Vesalius made huge leaps on the human body and anatomy, and even discovered that the heart pumped blood. This obviously had major impacts on society and medicine. How would you like your arm amputated for the flu? Important physical inventions also came out of the scientific revolution. The steam digester was developed and eventually led way to the steamboat. Also came the microscope, telescope, barometer, mechanical calculator, and logarithms. Sorry, again. While the scientific revolution may have brought us things we don't necessarily love, like calculus, and the scientific method, and logarithms, it gave us the developments we needed to move forward as a society, and without it, Neil Armstrong probably would have landed on Gallifrey or something.